deep in the frigid forests of North America, a terrifying legend whispers through the trees. It's the story of the Wendigo, a creature born from desperation and darkness. Picture this: a harsh winter. Resources are scarce, and survival becomes a brutal choice. The Algonquian peoples, who first told these tales, warned of a great evil that could arise when someone resorted to the ultimate taboo: cannibalism. This act, born of starvation, was said to corrupt the soul, twisting a human into a monstrous being. The Wendigo is described as a gaunt, skeletal figure towering over humans with glowing eyes and long, sharp claws. Its skin is stretched taut over its bones, and it emanates a foul odor of decay and death. But what's truly terrifying is its insatiable hunger for human flesh. The more it eats, the larger it grows, and the hungrier it becomes. A never-ending cycle of gluttony and despair. These stories were more than just spooky campfire tales. They were powerful moral lessons about the importance of community, sharing resources, and resisting greed. The Wendigo served as a stark warning against selfishness and the dark path it could lead to, especially during times of extreme hardship. It was a personification of the very real dangers of winter starvation and the psychological toll it took on isolated communities. One of the most chilling aspects of the Wendigo legend is the concept of Wendigo possession. This wasn't just about a monster lurking in the woods. It was about the monster that could awaken within you. The transformation was said to begin subtly. A person would become withdrawn, moody, and obsessed with the idea of cannibalism. They would develop a strange aversion to normal food and feel an overwhelming, unnatural craving for human flesh. This internal struggle was called Wendigo Psychosis, a term later used by psychiatrists to describe a culture-bound syndrome found among these northern Algonquian communities. Individuals suffering from it would believe they were being transformed into a Wendigo. They would express a desire to eat human flesh and often displayed violent, antisocial behavior. It was a terrifying fusion of folklore and real-world psychological distress. The afflicted person would be seen as a grave threat to their own community. Their family and friends would watch in horror as the person they knew and loved slowly disappeared, replaced by a cold, predatory gleam in their eyes. The belief was that the spirit of the Wendigo had taken root in their soul, corrupting them from the inside out. The physical transformation would follow, their body emaciating while their hunger grew monstrous. It's a truly horrifying thought, losing control of your own mind and body to an ancient, malevolent force. So what happens if you're lost in the woods and you cross paths with a Wendigo? The stories are grim. The creature is said to be a master of stealth and mimicry. It can imitate human voices, crying for help to lure unsuspecting travelers deeper into the wilderness. Imagine hearing a familiar voice, a friend or a family member, calling your name from the shadows. You follow the sound, thinking you're being rescued, only to walk straight into a trap. Encounters with the Wendigo are rarely survived. It's described as incredibly fast and supernaturally strong. Its very presence is said to bring a bone-chilling cold, an unnatural winter that freezes everything around it. Some legends say that just looking into its eyes can paralyze you with fear, leaving you helpless as it approaches. The Wendigo is not just a physical threat, it's a psychological one. It plays on your fears, your isolation, and your desperation. When you're lost, alone and hungry, the line between reality and hallucination can blur. Is that sound the wind? Or is it something whispering your name? Is that gaunt figure between the trees a dead branch? Or is it something watching you? The constant fear and paranoia would be just as deadly as the creature itself. The best advice the legends offer? Never wander alone in the woods, especially during the harshest months of winter. The line between myth and madness is thin when it comes to the Wendigo. While the creature itself belongs to folklore, the psychological impact it had was very real. Wendigo Psychosis shows how deeply a cultural belief can affect the human mind. In societies that believed in the Wendigo, individuals under extreme stress, like starvation, could manifest symptoms that perfectly mirrored the legendary transformation. This phenomenon highlights the power of the nocebo effect, the opposite of the placebo effect. If you believe strongly enough that something will harm you, your body and mind can actually start to experience those harmful effects. For someone who grew up hearing tales of the Wendigo, the fear of becoming one during a period of intense hardship could become a self-fulfilling prophecy. These cases were often dealt with, tragically, believing the person was no longer human and posed a mortal danger to the tribe. Communities sometimes felt they had no choice but to perform a ceremonial execution to stop the monster before it could hurt anyone else. It's a dark and sad chapter, reflecting the desperate measures people took to protect themselves from a threat they believed to be very real. Today, the Wendigo has transcended its origins in folklore and become a staple of modern horror. We see it in books, movies, and video games, often portrayed as a generic forest monster. But it's important to remember its roots. The Wendigo is not just a monster, it's a powerful symbol of the darkness that can lie within humanity. It's a story about hunger, greed, and the terrifying consequences of losing one's humanity. It reminds us that sometimes the most frightening monsters are the ones we create ourselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into one of North America's darkest legends. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the unknown. Stay curious and stay safe.